Hello, and thank you for joining me. Today, what I want to do is I want to do a little experiment. If you watched my video, Flaming Resin or Dragons with Flames, Flaming Resin Dragon, I think is what I called it, or the charcuterie board with the dragon in it, you know that I tried to draw flames in those. And while the flames came out okay, I want to try some experiments, some different techniques to see if I get a better, I would say, what's in my head. I want to see if I can't make it look more like what I want it to look like, even though those didn't turn out bad. Now, if you didn't watch those videos, I will put a link in my description box as well as my pinned comments below. To start out with, I mean, these are just the little square coaster molds, and they are 50 milligrams or 1.75 ounces. And what I want to do first is I just want to pour. I'm going to try real hard to measure it correctly, to about 20 milliliters of clear resin in each. Oh, I need my stick. Try and do it as evenly as possible. If they're not perfectly even, that's fine. I just want to make sure that they're covered. So while that's spreading around, let me finish getting this poured and hope I have enough. Should be enough after it's done spreading. And I'll let it start this whole spreading thing, and then I'll explain to you what I'm thinking I want to do, just to, and it is just an experiment. Let me just divvy this up and hope I have enough. It should be. It should be. All right, let that start spreading. What I want to do is I actually want to let these start the curing process. I would say, I don't know, I'll check it like in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and so on, until it's kind of thick. Not so thick that I can't do anything with it, but good and sticky anyway. And then once it gets to that point, I want to mix some red mica, orange mica, yellow mica, possibly black mica. I'm not sure yet if I want to do that. I want to get some of those mixed as well as some clear resin. And then I want to go back in and, like, at the bottom of this one, I want to go ahead and just use the colored micas on the bottom and draw flames, scratching it through the sticky resin, and leave it at that. On this one, I want to go ahead and again pour the colored ones, the colored resin at the bottom, the different colors on the bottom, clear on the top, and then scratch through with the tool, making flames. And on this last one, I don't know which technique I'm going to use, this one or this one, depending on how I think they look. And all I want to do on this one is I just want to put a little bit of flame kind of sideways, like this, see if I can. Let me go ahead and get that spread. And I mean, this may not work, but I really kind of want it to look like if you watch those videos when I first started drawing the flames with the tool, I liked the way that looked. But of course, as the resin cured, it spread. I mean, it still looked like flames. It just wasn't the look I was going for. So I'm hoping to get a little bit closer to that. And I'll just keep checking these until they're sticky enough that I think when I use that tool, it'll literally scratch through the resin, but leave the color from the different colored resins from spreading out like it did in those two videos. So those are my plans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and keep checking this, starting with 15 minutes, 30, 45, etc. And then I'll meet you back here when it's thick enough that I can start pouring the different colored resins on. So I will see you shortly. So these have set for about an hour and 15 minutes. I mean, keeping in mind the deeper the pour, the faster the cure. So it did take a little while for it to get, and as you can see, it's kind of thick. I can draw a line in it and it will close afterwards. So I'm hoping that this works. And I actually think I'm going to start with this one. And this is the one I'm going to add the colored resin on the bottom, clear on top, and then draw, because I'm trying to decide if I think I want to mix black. I haven't done that yet because I haven't made up my mind. So let me go ahead and start. I think I want to start with maybe orange, yellow, and then red. So I'm going to just put some orange down here. And hopefully I mixed enough of the colored micas up. I think so. Okay, there's the orange. Put some yellow. I may need to mix a little more yellow up. I don't know. And some red. Okay, let me get my tool. I'm going to need it. Now I want to actually just, I hope this works. I want to pour some clear up here and allow it to move down. And then once that moves down, let me see if I can help it down a little bit without mixing the colors. Oh, it's down. Okay, good. All right, y'all. Well, I guess here goes nothing. We'll see. I'm actually hoping it's possible with the clear, the wet, fresh clear up here, that it's going to do just the same as it did in the other two videos. But let's see anyway. I'm actually scratching that all the way down to the bottom to that soft, gooey. Let me clean that tool. The resin that's on the bottom. I think I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. And I do think that I probably want to go ahead and mix just a little bit more of the yellow. Let me get a little bit of that in there. Get it mixed. I see some bubbles. I may need to pop. We'll see. Let me just add a little bit more of the yellow mica and give it a stir. I'm waiting to see if those bubbles pop. I'm going to let it sit there for a little bit, and then I may play with it just a little bit more. I mean, so far I kind of like the way it looks, even though it looks maybe more like cartoonish type flames. Something about me likes that. Okay. I wonder if I do yellow, orange, and red, what that would look like. I just feel the need to fill in. There's some gaps down here. Some clear gaps. Oh, I'm going to mess it up because that is getting thick. Kind of need some flames going in the other direction. All right, I'm going to stop there before I make it worse. I'm going to stop there. Here, I think I am going to do yellow, orange, and red. And for this one, I want to take my tool. Oh, I got a polka dot there. A couple of them. I'm going to take my tool and just, let me first go on the edge here. I'm going to take my tool and just go up. There's a bubble. I think the orange, yellow, red looks better as far as the color combinations. These bubbles, though, are messing me up. I guess when I go through, I need to slow down. Give it a spray, see if it'll take care of those bubbles. And it didn't. Yeah, the bubbles are messing me up. I need to slow down. If nothing else, man, that's a cool design if it stays that way. All right, I'm going to leave that alone. And I actually kind of want to draw some sideways here. I just don't know. I want to do it this way where I added some clear, or this way. I, oh boy, I don't know. I like both right now, but I don't know how that's going to spread. But I'm going to do orange, then yellow, then red. We'll just see what we end up with. I just want a wee tiny bit. I need a stick so I don't put drops on there. Grab my stick. That may be a bit much, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I want a little more red than. All right, let me grab my little tool and see what kind of mess I can make. Oh, I've got a hair or something in there. Yeah, this one isn't turning out quite the way I wanted it to, or was hoping. I was hoping. Well, y'all, I'm not too sure how I feel about this one at all. These so far, I think, look pretty cool. Minus the bubbles. There are bubbles that's kind of messing it up. Trying to figure out what, if anything, I want to do with this one. It's starting to get pretty darn thick. So whatever I'm going to do, I need to just do it. I don't know about this one, y'all. I was kind of hoping I could make it look like I'd like to put a dragon in something and make it look like it's got flames coming out of its mouth. And I don't know if this is the way to do it. I just really don't know. I still have some clear resin left. I don't want to pour any on here. I want to see what that's going to look like. I did pour some there. I don't know if I want to pour any on there or not, because I have no idea what it's going to look like when it dries. I think maybe I will. I have extra resin. I might as well hopefully not mess it up too badly. Because I did scratch that all the way through to the bottom of the coaster. And we'll just see what we end up with. I mean, that's why we experiment, right? I would love to be able to make, though, flames looking like they're coming out of a dragon's mouth. Let me just go ahead and get the rest of this on there and hope it does its little spread thing, because I can't really use a tool there. Okay, well, this is what we have so far. And I'm actually going to let it cure for a good long time. And then I'll come back in and put a top coat on it. And do the doming. And I'll do that off camera. But then I'll meet you back here for the unmolding. That way we can see what we ended up with. And I'm curious about what the other side's going to look like, because I did scratch through the resin that was on bottom. So I will see you after these are done curing in about 24 hours. So I will see you shortly. Thanks. It's time for the unmolding, and I want to talk to you a little bit about this one. I went ahead and put the extra orange and red in here and yellow in here because it was already a hot mess. And I put this dragon is one that I actually broke the tail on. I just shoved it in there just because, no particular reason. And as far as just looking from this side, that definitely needs some more yellow, but that wasn't the look I was going for. This one, on the other hand, I do kind of like the way that looks. So maybe this is the way to do it. Maybe a little less yellow, but this way. And as far as this one, I was trying to create flames like it would be coming out of a dragon's mouth. What I should have done, instead of pouring it on, I think I should have maybe used just a dotting tool and dipped it into resin and then draw it on. I'll have to try that, and I will in the future. But let's go ahead and get these unmolded. We start with this one. I know it's a hot mess, and that's okay. It was an experiment. Yeah, there's the back. And there's the front. And as you can see that this one had a broken tail. So I just shoved it in there. So this is not the method to use. I think, yeah, I probably should have just tried to carefully draw it on with the dotting tool. I'm going to do this one next. I'm just curious about the backs because I did scratch all the way through. And maybe I should have let the resin cure a little bit longer than I did. I don't know. But this one's definitely, you can't really see much of the yellow in it. Ooh, but that side, look at that, y'all. That looks cool. I like the way that looks. So I like the back side on this. Not so much the front side, but the back side, I like that. All right, and this one, I do like this side, so let's see what the other side's going to look like. But I do like this side. Ooh, that's not too bad either. But I like this side better. This side looks more flamey to me than that side. Because you can see where I drug the tool through. So I like this side better. So I think, yeah, for future projects, when I want to make flames, I definitely, two things. One, I want the resin to start getting pretty sticky so that I can drag my tool through. But then on this one, this is the one that I just added the colored mica and drew through. I did not add any additional clear on top like I did with this one. So maybe that's the way to do it. And as far as making little tiny flames, I think, yeah, use the dotting tool and carefully draw it. Should have just carefully drew them in ever so slowly. And I will try that in the future. But this is the way the experiment turned out. And I'm pleased with this, the front side of this, and I like the back side of this. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I do want to thank you for watching and ask you to consider hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.